Well, actually, one of my children did want us to put a ejector seat switch in there,
In
but
the top of the gear knob.
in the top of the gear knob, or anywhere really.
True
so yeah.
Goldfinger style.
So, but I sent him off to do his homework and told him to stop being so silly.
Might be.
Hi, so welcome back to Piston Broke with Matt and Jim, and another workshop session with me, Jim, and Dotty, our 1977 Project MG Midget. So what I want to work on in this video is a switch panel, which we're going to mount under the dashboard, and it's going to take rocker switches for the heated seats that we installed when we did the seat rebuild, and also front fog lights, a switch for that. We've got a 12 volt barrel socket to put a double USB phone charger in as well, so we're going to fit that, and maybe some other auxiliary gauges or switches a little bit further down the line, so I'll allow a little bit of space to fit those in afterwards. Okay, so you can see that underneath of the dashboard here, which we've put back in now, we've painted it. A little bit of a mess of wiring here which we need to tidy up, and my intention is that the switch panel is going to go under here somewhere. So I want to build something that will have a lip on the back that's going to sit behind the lip of the dashboard here, and that will also allow us to anchor the bottom of the dash, because at the moment it's a little bit wobbly, so that will just stiffen that up nicely. The panel's then going to drop down, turn back towards the bulkhead, and then there'll be again a little panel to attach it to the bulkhead. I want to make sure that it's removable, so I'm going to have the switches, the fixings and so on will be accessible. I don't want to bury anything inside or make it kind of permanently fitted in. I'm going to make it out of some aluminium sheet, and then we'll probably finish it with the same black crackle finish that we've put on the dashboard here. In terms of the width, I want to make sure that it's not going to be catching on either the driver or the passenger's knees, so I want to probably make the switch panel no more than 200mm wide. In fact, I can probably make it a little bit less than that if we go for, we'll go for 170 wide. So I'm just jotting down the dimensions. So in terms of height, we can go pretty much whatever we want. We could do 100mm, which would bring the bottom of the switch panel down to here. Oh, the other thing we're going to add is the courtesy light as well. So 100 maybe looks a little bit too much, so I might go down to 80mm. So if we say 80mm, and return back to the bulkhead from the edge of the dash lip, first of all, we've got a dash lip of about 20mm to play with. The bulkhead to the dash lip, it's about 160mm. Drop the pen down the side of the seat, of course. So 160mm, and then we want to return to fix it back to the bulkhead like that. Okay, so we've got the measurements under here we need. I'll just pull the camera back a little bit so you can see. So I've measured down the drop here, the return back, and the size of the bulkhead there. So what I'm going to do now is to head into the workshop and employ a bit of C.A.D design. So C.A.D stands for Cardboard Aided Design. Got some old cereal box which I'm going to cut up, and I will make a mock-up. We'll come back out and we'll try that for a fit before we go ahead and make the final one in aluminium. So I shall turn the camera the right way around and head back into the workshop. Okay, so heading back into the workshop now, and I've got my my little sketch here. So I'm just going to start to sketch out on a piece of cardboard some of the ideas to make a sort of a cardboard dummy run for what we need. What I'm going to do is to make all the returns to mount it with, and the front and the underneath of the panel out of one single strip, and then I'll add some side pieces on. It might be a little bit easier in terms of the manufacture. Lucky piece of cardboard, just about long enough. Return on the back. So I need to mark 20mm on the back here. Light scoring. Okay, so the idea is that this little flange here will be the bit that will sit underneath the dashboard, and that will allow me to fix up into the dashboard. This will be the panel at the front which will carry the switches. This then will be the return back, and then this little lip will fix to the bulkhead. So viewed from front on, look like that. On the side, with the side return there. So I'm just going to manufacture a couple of side pieces. So 160 by 80. There we go. So those will give us the sides. And return back on there. So a little bit of tape on that. We'll go back then and offer it up on the car and see how it fits. Okay, so we've popped our cardboard mock-up in, and actually, amazingly, it fits really well. Just slide around so you can get a little look at the side of it. So you can see down here the flange against the bulkhead, which will retain it. Not sure you can see, but up here the flange goes up inside the dashboard here, so we'll be able to screw through to that, and I'm really pleased with that. Then I think we'll add the courtesy light, will be sort of underneath here somewhere. 3 rocker switches, sort of maybe in that kind of position. The barrel connector, the barrel socket for the phone charger, I'm going to put in around the side here, I think, and then that should fit quite nicely. Okay, so I think we'll call that done as far as the cardboard template. We'll go back inside and manufacture one now from some alley sheet. So join me back inside. Okay, so the switch panel fits really well inside the car. What we're going to do now, I've got a sheet of 1mm aluminium, and I'm going to mark out the same pattern on here, cut this and bend this, and hopefully then this will do for the actual switch panel. So I'm just going to go ahead now and, based on the model we did, and get everything marked out. Okay, so I've just realised as I've gone to mark this out that in fact actually the sheet of aluminium is not quite big enough. So what it means is that the height of the switch panel, instead of being 80, millimeters is going to be in fact 50 millimeters. But I think that's going to work okay. I was actually a little bit concerned that maybe that was a bit bulky anyway, so I think what we're going to do is continue with the fabrication, try that at 50 and see what it looks like. I'm also going to attempt to fold up the sides in one piece, and then we may need to put some little tabs on to fix them, possibly with some rivets or some screws afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead now and draw in the side pieces on there. This is front, this is bottom, dash, flange here, side, side. Okay, so I've got it all marked out here. We've now got the return dash flange, the front of the slightly lowered switch panel, the base, the bulkhead flange, two sides which we'll attempt to bend round, and a couple of little tabs which I'll use to fix the bottom. I might, I don't know, use a little bit of some rivets. So I'm just looking at that now, and it's just occurring to me now that in fact actually this line here needs to be moved up slightly. We need to make the sides slightly thinner, so that the tab will fold in on top of the aluminium sheet here. So that's the point from which the tab needs to be folded up. It should then allow the tab to go inside. And we can either rip it through that or pop some epoxy on there. So what I'm going to do now is to cut everything out and start then folding the sheet up. Okay, so it's proving to be quite difficult to cut even this neatly without any distortion. It's causing quite a lot of rippling of the edge there. So I think what I'm going to do is to set up the jigsaw and cut those with a metal cutting blade and the jigsaw to see if we can't get a slightly neater finish on it than that. Okay, well, that's proving much easier to cut than with the tin snips. I've just got a couple of little corners just to flatten off on this. Okay, so we've got the basic shape cut out now. What I'm going to do is to attempt to clamp and bend the parts that we need to get the correct shape. So, okay, and then we're going to gently work our way along to form the 90-degree bend. There we go, so I'm really pleased with how that's fitting. So I'll pull the camera back a little bit. We've got the flange up under the dashboard at the front here, which will fix to the dashboard, so we'll screw up through there to hold that in, and then down at the back here be 2 screws onto the bulkhead at the back. So that's fitting really nicely. It's more or less in the right position, so I've lined it up centrally over the transmission tunnel there. So as I say, we've got our barrel socket at the side. We'll have switches for heated seats and fog lights in the middle. This is the courtesy light, which I'm going to mount centrally under at the front here. So what I'm going to do now is I'll disconnect the courtesy light so that I can wire that up, and we'll take the switch panel back in and we'll paint it. So as I say, we're going to use an etch primer on it first, and then we'll give a coat of the same black wrinkle finish that we've used on the dashboard. So I'll pop this off now and head back inside and give it a coat of paint. Okay, so the switch panel's all been fixed in place now. So we've got rocker switches here for seat heating, which we fitted, so the low, medium and high position for both of those. We've got the switch that turns the front fog lights on and off. We've got obviously the interior courtesy light. It's not lit up at the moment because I've got the battery disconnected because I'm rewiring the headlights at the same time. And then round the side here, we've got a double USB in a barrel charger for charging phones and GPS and that kind of thing. So it all fits in quite well. Just need to wipe the dirty finger marks off it, but I think that looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Fits in there nice and neatly. Just screwed up under the lip of the dashboard here, and a couple of fixings back into the edge of the firewall here. So I think I'm quite happy with that at the moment. It's nice and solid. It's not too intrusive. You're not going to be bashing your knees on the sides of it. So I think we can call that another job ticked off the list.